Right there, it's Recent Drive Green. We're just going to have a quick walk around this Kia Soul EV that's just come onto the forecourt. It's covered just under 80,000 miles. I think it's on 79,200. And it's in pretty good condition for its age and mileage, really. The wheels all round look quite good. There's sort of no marks at all on them, which is really nice to see. Just above this wheel, there is a tiny little crease in the sort of the body lines there, which is really, really quite hard to see. Moving sort of down the side of the car, there's no sort of dinks or car park dinks at all. Bar a tiny little scratch there, which has got a tiny little bit behind it there. Just don't even think the camera's picking that up. I'll pop my head inside the car. The seats and sort of the whole interior really looks quite good. There's not much wear on the seats at all. There's a tiny little bit just on the driver's seat there, but for 80,000 miles, that's really quite good. And the only other part is the steering wheel there. So there's a couple of little scratches on the steering, which looks like it's been from a wedding ring or sort of any sort of hand scratching or something. And the rear door looks really good. The only sort of mark on it is a tiny little scratch there, which is pretty unnoticeable for any distance away from the car. The rear seats, like quite a lot of cars these days, don't sort of get used very often. And in turn, they're really, really good condition. There's not a mark on the back at all. There's a couple of tiny little dinks in the door there where the seatbelt probably got trapped or something along the lines of that. But with the door shut, you'd never know they were there. The rear alloy looks in really good condition, with not a mark on that one at all. It's a tiny, tiny little sort of mark there, but it's really hard to pick up on camera. And the rear of the car looks really, really good. There's hardly any marks on the back at all. Main thing to note is just that tiny little bit below the boot there. It's a little mark there and just follows across just to that tiny little scuff there. Just pop our head inside the boot, which again, it's in really good condition with no marks on the carpet or anything at all, which looks great. The only other little mark actually was just down right at the bottom there, which is sort of invisible unless you get low down like I just did there. The passenger side of the car looks quite good. As I said before, the alloys are in really good condition, just to show that off there for you. Rear door has no sort of marks. There's a tiny little car park dink just at the top there, which you can just sort of see there. And on this, there's a little mark just at the bottom, which just try and get into the camera there, which you can kind of see there just on the gravel at the bottom. And then coming to the front alloy, again, looks absolutely immaculate. The bonnet has a few little stone chips and things on, which you sort of expect for just over 72,000 miles. There's a little mark there, which has been previously touched in, so we might be able to improve that a little bit. There's a couple of little bits there that have been touched in. And coming around the front bumper's actually sort of held up really, really well. There's not many marks on that at all. As I said, this car is now available on the forecourt, so it's available for a test drive or a viewing. And thank you for watching.